Good afternoon, everybody. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you will remember the last video I put out, which was the MP that got sent a death threat, basically. Simon Danchuk. One of my old viewers, back from the other channel that I used to have, also pointed this out to me whilst I was sorting my shit out last night, I guess, would be the most accurate way to put it. But he did actually mention to me that I hadn't known until now that it turns out that Simon Danchuk did send explicit messages to a 17-year-old. Now, whether or not that's reprehensible or not, and let me tell you, I think it's pretty bad, let me tell you that much, that he did that, it doesn't take away from the fact that Simon Danchuk received death threats. That being dealt with, move it to one side, I have an update on this. And the update is that Greater Manchester, my arse. Anyway, Greater Manchester Police did arrest a man related to this death threat. So it looks like they have taken action on that much. Thank God. Because whether he's sent explicit messages, this fucking Simon Danchuk, or not, to an underage girl or an of the age but very young girl, which would make it kind of creepy kind of girl, you have to understand, even people like that do not deserve death threats. I can think of a few people that might, but that would usually come under traitors to the country or terrorists to the country. And even then, I personally wouldn't go as far as doing that shit. But at least now, we can rest easy knowing that, if nothing else, the twat who issued the threat to Simon Danchuk has been arrested. I don't think it's because he was a Reform candidate. I do find it a little disturbing that he sent these messages to a 17-year-old. Sorry, I'm just admiring my fucking pot noodle and cream and tomato soup collection. I went on a massive binge shop. Anyway, it doesn't change the fact that I do find it a little bit disturbing that he is running for election. I'm hoping he is being monitored very closely, just so that he doesn't try that shit again. I mean, okay, I can kind of understand it from, not from justifying that shit. Like that, you can't justify that shit. But I'm trying to say, I can understand you want to be able to at least have a social life and what have you, and you can't really go too hard and turn the screw on them, because then you're effectively limiting their social life. But nonetheless, I would say he still needs to be watched very carefully, because of the fact that he has had that past interaction with this 70-year-old girl. That being said, I will reiterate the point again. As much as that might be a little creepy, as much as it might be, how do I put it? Not worthy of a man of decent stature, shall we say. It doesn't change the fact that that man does not deserve death threats, and I am at least glad that he will not have to deal with this shit anymore. Or at least from this particular knob jockey. So that's the update. It seems that at least Greater Manchester Police have done their job, for once. And we can safely say that this man, I hope, is going to face charges for what he's done, threatening an MP, an assassination, all that shit. But who knows? I worry about it because we've had similar situations with people like David Amess. You know, that Conservative MP, a Brexiteer, assassinated by a Muslim man from, I think it was Somalia. And basically, he was assassinated. But of course, Sadiq Khan doesn't think that. He thinks that he merely passed away. And I will also address this on a side note. I know there are going to be more people who come out of their way and say that I'm being poisoned by the far right. And I'll be perfectly clear on this. Nobody is poisoning my mind. These are my particular thoughts on the matter. I have never been brainwashed in any way, shape, or form. Hell, I know some people are even going to say, but you are under autistic people who are under vulnerable people. Yes, I accept that. But I'd like to think I use what little intelligence I have in here to be able to differentiate this shit. But of course, there will always be people who think this, unfortunately. But I can safely assure you that as much as I do not like violence and all that shit, I stand by all my beliefs of what I said in all my other videos. That's not going to fucking change. Unless it is completely and utterly fundamentally wrong. Like, for example, if I supported paedophilia and realised how evil it was, then I can understand me changing my stance on that shit, because obviously paedophilia is completely fucking wrong. But my point is, my stance is always going to stay the same. Nobody is putting their influence in my head. This is all my thinking. No one else's. So, on that lovely note, let's hope this wanker who sent the death threat gets the book thrown at him, and then some.